Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Butcher. I'm this small little man on the corner of your screen. As you probably know, Techfugees was founded in 2015 during the Syrian refugee crisis. I'm the founder, Mike Butcher. My day job is with TechCrunch, but today it's all Techfugees, and we have various chapters around the world. We've done many education projects for refugees. Most of our work is in host nations. So refugees in Germany from Syria, refugees in Hungary, in Poland, you name it, and in Lebanon. In fact, the reason that I'm presenting for you today is because my CEO, Raj Berman, is actually today in Lebanon. So hopefully Raj will be tuning in and seeing what's going on while we're doing this. Now, just to explain, this is a hybrid event, which means I'm throwing my voice. All these people in the room think I'm incredibly loud, and we can make contact with them. And also, of course, we're doing a Zoom call, big Zoom. So there's at least 100 people coming today. I think probably about 150 all in roughly. So we're super excited to have you all join today. We will go all the way for an hour through to around about 3 o'clock, when we will then be hearing from the mayor of Lisbon, who is coming in from Lisbon to talk about Portugal's contribution to the Ukraine refugee emergency, because Lisbon and Portugal has been a fantastic host nation for Ukrainian refugees. They are one of the very first European countries, if not the first, I think, to do a European visa waiver for Ukrainian refugees and displaced people. So fantastic, big up Portugal for that, alongside many other fantastic countries such as Ireland and others. So we're here to do a big, positive, upbeat event where we're talking about humanitarian solutions, whether they be technological, whether they just be simple initiatives to help Ukrainians at this terrible time and this terrible moment in their history. And that's what we're here to do. We're not a political organization. We're a humanitarian, and we're also focusing only on humanitarian solutions and ideas, and nothing to do with the military side of things. The last thing I want to say is that after the Mayor of Lisbon, we'll then we'll have our final series of pitches for about 40 minutes. Then we will have a little bit of extra time just to have, if we've missed anybody, if anybody didn't, is absolute burning desire to say hello, then we'll bring you on the call. And as I said, obviously, I'm in charge. So unfortunately, I'm going to be the timekeeper. So if anybody has any complaints, they can come to me. Andrew, you've got 3 minutes starting now. Thank you.
Gotcha. Thank you for your attention. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew, and I'm the co-founder of Jobian. Jobian is an end-to-end solution that matches international workers from all over the world with jobs in demand. We help job seekers tap decent opportunities beyond their local borders. The main spheres we are covering are transportation, logistics, retail, manufacturing, and customer support. Before the Russian invasion, in 24th of February, our team has reached amazing results. We got in the top 5 of migrant platforms in Eastern European region. We have 60,000 unique visitors monthly. 50 recruitment agencies are partnering with us under one roof. And we're working with the best staffing providers such as Randstad and Manpower. But all the business was strongly related to the Ukrainian migrants. After the war has started and Russia has invaded Ukraine, we had to react immediately. First of all, we've relocated all of our team members to safer places. As a company with continuous organic visitors, we were receiving inquiries for helping with placements and jobs for people that have left Ukraine and are currently in other countries. Most of them were Poland, so we decided to focus on that area. Thanks to our connections with one of the biggest job platforms in Poland, the Pracujpel Group, we immediately received an access for more than 8,000 job opportunities in the region. As a result, to this day, we have helped more than 500 people to integrate in the Polish environment and start working and living in these places. We have set up all the grounds for a proper coordination and control of placements to scale this solution that we have developed in any European Union country. Here at this event, I would be glad to share my personal experience about recruitment of Ukrainian citizens, because what I'm observing now is that there's a disconnect between the employers, NGOs, and Ukrainian citizens. Many job offers are absolutely irrelevant to the realities, and many efforts will not bring any result at the end. I personally am currently in Kiev, and I evacuated a part of my family to the train station, to the bus stations, and I have seen by my own eyes like what is happening and what is the audience of the people that are leaving the country. We are also searching for potential partners to continue activity that we have started. Our business model is not a charitable organization, and we are open to make joint projects with fixed results to bring values to the Ukrainian people that have left the country and the employers worldwide. Thank you for your attention. I'd be glad to answer any of your questions after the pitching session. Unfortunately, my contacts are covered by the video. I see it, so could you bring me, yep. Those are my contacts, and I'd be glad to follow up after this event or during this event. Thank you for your attention. Slava Ukraini, God bless Ukraine.
Thank you very much. That was a fantastic round of applause, everybody. Woo-hoo! We're off to the races. Well done. Thank you for joining us, Jobian. Fantastic matchmaking international workers with employers for jobs in demand, helping job seekers tap decent opportunities beyond borders. And we're excited to support your initiative. We're now going to our next pitch, which is Letitia from Paz.ai. Letitia, come on up. Over to you. 3 minutes. Go for it.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Leti, and I'm one of the founders of Paz. Since 2017, we have been focused on creating a solution to help refugees regain control of their lives and restart their careers in peace. I have a team of, sorry, it's just, okay, my team is there. Our team has a combined experience of more than 25 years in humanitarian crisis support, education, technology, human rights, recruitment, and coaching. Together, we have created a solution that basically accompanies people who have suddenly arrived to a new country to restart their lives. We focus on tech professionals because we understand that the market is in shortage of tech skills, and we believe that refugees are a very powerful talent source. They are extremely resilient and hardworking, and yeah, so that's what we're doing for today. In the past 12 years, we have been able to help 34 professionals regain control of their lives, and we currently are working with 130, and we have 700 in the waiting list. So how can you help us, and why am I here? The first thing is that we don't want to leave anyone behind. We understand that what's happening in Ukraine is horrible, and at the moment, most people are in the borders. But very soon, they're going to arrive to the new countries, and they're going to need networks of support to be able to restart their lives, and they're going to need the advice and the training to be able to enter the market. And that's what we're here to do. We have the experience, and we can help. So if you work with refugees, if you could refer them to us, that would be amazing. We are also looking for mentors. The mentors are a key pillar of our program. They accompany our talent, and they help them thrive, open doors, and give references. So again, if you want to join, please sign up as a mentor. For the companies here today, I invite you to check out the Paz talent, because this is very unique talent. And last but not least, the past 4 years, we've been bootstrapping. We've been doing all of this just with our own investment and with the resources that we've been able to generate through the business model. We believe that now, after 34 success stories, it's time to scale. So I'm very proud to say we're doing our first investment round, and we would be happy to speak to anyone who wants to invest. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much. That's Paz.ai, based in Europe. Fantastic.
Next, John Abbott.
John Abbott.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Sorry I can't be there in person. So we are Yoti. Yoti is a digital identity business, and to be clear, we are here to help, not looking for help. And we're identity business that can help in sort of 2 or 3 main ways. So one, we have a globally available reusable identity system. So this will enable refugees or any citizens to back up their identity documents. It's a very short sort of 3 to 4 minute process for them to scan in, as you see on the screen, scan in their documents if they have them, and then be able to back those up very securely. We work with governments, airlines, and so forth. There's over 11 million installs globally. The backup allows them to lose their documents, lose their phone, get into another country with a new phone and recover that. It's matched to their personal biometric. It's very secure and private. No one else can see their data, not even us. So it's something as a backup for them to do. Secondly, this same tool could be used by volunteers. We already do this for the NHS in the UK, Age UK and other charities, where, for example, in this case, a driver could be verifying themselves very quickly in the same process as that refugee. We've got a portal available that is no code needed for ready integration. So it's just something you can log into as an administration. We set up 2 already in the last couple of days. Furthermore, anyone in that process that could get a verified Yoti as an app can then share that remotely. So the images on the right, they can then share those details to help with remote verification. So as we're seeing governments being a bit overloaded, or in any other aid organizations could be using this instantly today as a tool. It's already in Polish, Czech, and some common sort of German, French, and English. We are translating it as we speak into Ukrainian and Russian. And lastly, if there is an integration available, we have the ability to issue credentials. So that could be a volunteer's card, so that they can then visually show that to someone. There's some horrible stories around kidnapping and trafficking, for that element of trust to be circulated. And that could be totally controlled by any organization issuing that. So any one of the good organizations running could then have that control. So that could cut out some of the bad actors, hopefully. We're London based. My contact details will be in the comments or otherwise. And if he's in the room, Bassi, my colleague, is there if you have any other further questions or anything else afterwards. That's it for me. Hopefully you got your time back.
Thanks, John. Want to know, are you providing this application for free to NGOs?
Yes, sorry, key part is in the text. It's entirely free to the consumer, so nothing for them to pay and nothing to pay for a charity or an NGO or a humanitarian effort in this. So and that's our standard model as well to help.
And how would you make this sustainable going forward? Who would eventually, obviously things eventually do have to be paid for. Would it be, you would be applying for philanthropic donations or for government donations or something?
No, I'm pleased to say our default model way before this happened is that same model. So this is already sustainable from our perspective. We'll see if there's millions and millions and millions that come through, but we already have that model open in all countries to help.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. Go for it. The floor is yours. Go for it. Thank you.
I'm Alexandra Shaw, and I work with Responsible 100, which is an organization that's had about 20 years experience helping businesses to become more socially, ethically, environmentally responsible. And today we've been working on an action to crowdsource a list of possible business actions that businesses can take to essentially help support the relief effort in Ukraine, or think of ways to reject Putin. And so we're asking everybody to come together and make suggestions so we can keep compiling this crowdsourced list. And the longer the list, essentially, the more people will feel a catalyst to come together and act. So if you have suggestions for that list, we have already quite a long set of suggestions on our webpage. But essentially, we'd love to have some developer support to create some kind of survey that would be easy enough for people that we could send to different organizations for them to send out to their employees and be able to galvanize action in that way. So I think that's a relatively straightforward ask, but if there's other ways in which you could see helping us compile a set of communications resources that would be easy enough to send off to different organizations that we work with and put on this crowdsourced site, that would be fantastic. So our contact details are there, but Responsible 100 and any ideas you have to help further this would be fantastic.
Right. Quick question.
Yes.
What's some of the big standout things in your list?
So they typically fall into 4 categories. I'd say the first is how employers can create a psychological sort of safe space for people to feel comfortable to talk about what's happening, and because it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety, even in profit through ethics and the companies that I've seen that I work with. That's the first bit. The second bit I would say is obviously like fundraising and different fundraising drives and ways that people can get involved with supporting, either doing matching donations through their company or enabling the company to match donations that have been made outside to other types of charities. The third way I would say is how we can raise our business voice collectively, whether it be on LinkedIn or other forms of social media, changing your email signature, using those networks, being able to communicate through different networks to leverage a business voice. I think that's one of the biggest ways to show support. And the fourth, I would say, is obviously if businesses have investments in Russia and are able to divest from them, that's another way to put pressure on the situation.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, doing that in person. Next up, we've got, okay, Raul. So Vivio.
So thank you for having me. I am Raul Gallo, CEO and founder of Viveo Health. Viveo Health is a technology platform that provides ecosystem for insurance companies where they can bring all their stakeholders, starting from digital consultations, offline consultations, pharmacies and labs. And now when this war started in Ukraine, we decided to provide through our NGO digital consultations for people in Ukraine, and we launched an incentive called Telehealth Without the Borders. And by now we have doctors from 12 countries who are providing free consultations for the people in Ukraine. The only condition is that they need to have a license and they need to speak whether it's English, Russian or Ukrainian language. Then demand is absolutely massive there, thanks to, because hospitals has been targets for Russia. Tonight, cancer hospital was bombed. Yesterday, it was maternity hospital, and of course, thanks to a lot of injuries, it's well needed. But we need is to get some donations to support Ukrainian doctors to provide free consultations. We also need more volunteers to provide consultations there. And how you can help is to spread the word so that we could reach out to more audience. That's about it.
And what's the best way to get in touch with this application?
So doctors can self-onboard on our webpage. Then patients can just download our app in Ukraine and then can start booking consultations. There are hundreds of available times already now.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Where are you dialing in from, sir?
I'm currently in Tallinn, but our main business is in Southeast Asia and in Latam.
Okay, thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, we have somebody else.
Hi, everyone. So the Red Cross migration team, small team based in Dublin. Well, basically, we've been operating one of these Pledge a Bed programs for five years now, mostly placing Syrians and Iraqis, predominantly young men, into homes with Irish people. I'll tell you the process as it's worked to date, and then I'll tell you, what we're trying to cut while maintaining safeguarding qualities to allow us to scale. So to date, it has been a very heavy touch process. A pledge will come in on the website, a trained caseworker, so somebody with a social care background, will do an initial screening phone call, and then they will do a home visit. So a lot of safeguarding there around hosts. And then the caseworker will also have been doing outreach in direct provision centres, which are institutional settings for asylum seekers in Ireland. Sadly, we've 8,000 people in institutions. So the caseworkers would go into the centres, do their outreach, and identify people with a particular level of vulnerability that would make them suitable for this program, or this program suitable for them. Too high vulnerability with, you know, certain manifestations and traumas, not really suited to pledged accommodation. And the next step is that the caseworker and the client, once they've identified the client, will come to the home, and there'll be a home visit, and then everyone has a 2-week cooling off period, and then we move the person in. And that's a program that's been working in a small way for 5 years now. I've done it myself. I had a young Syrian man live here for 1.5 years. Once he got over the dog, he was very comfortable here. He still has his Christmas dinner with my family. He's like another brother to me now. We're not staffed with caseworkers to facilitate. We've had 15,000 pledges in the last week. We usually get about 10 a month, and we're at 15,000 now. So we're trying to outsource the initial acknowledgement call, we're calling it. It's no longer a screening call, because we've got great volunteers in call centres in our corporate partners, 3 Ireland Web Summit, more coming on board next week. So we're going to get through those 10,000 acknowledgement calls, and what we can do on them is shortlist. But there will still need to be a stage then where a caseworker does a screening call. But we're getting about half of our pledges are getting shortlisted. We won't do the home visit, but there will be a video call now. We are still hoping to maintain a casework element, so that you know, vulnerability kind of screening, and an initial casework model that's 5 hours a week for your first month and 1 hour a week for the 2 months after that. So you can at least make sure you get your entitlements, your medical card, your social welfare, etc. And a little bit of goal setting, which is an important part of casework. We help clients with their self-identified goals. They tell us what they want to do. I've done this in drug services. Sometimes it's just get down from like 6 bags of heroin to 3 bags of heroin. Non-judgmental, we don't care what your goals are, but whatever you say they are, your caseworker is going to help you achieve them. And we're just trying to hold on to a very high standard of safeguarding and a strong casework element. We hope that this isn't going to be necessary. We hope everyone's gone back in a few months. But we can't plan for that, and we have to think longer term. And just an exit strategy we have out of host homes is community sponsorship. I know there's a similar program in the UK, but not something we can ramp up very quickly. So that's what we're at in Ireland around accommodation.
Thank you very much, Niamh. I think we'll have to leave it there. I appreciate your time. We are going to go to Tech for Ukraine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Max Irvine from the United States, and I'm the founder of Hope for Ukraine. I'm a senior at a university, and it so happens that my entire university, Georgia Institute of Technology, has rallied around this campaign. What we have done is created a platform that allows verified displaced Ukrainian families specifically to tell their story and request financial aid from people in the West. So the problem we noticed was that there was a lot of people within my community that wanted to donate in some form or fashion to people that have been in a hard spot, but they wanted to donate directly to the people. They didn't want to go through an organization. And so we couldn't find a good platform that was doing that at the moment. And so we just decided to build our own, and it's actually completed and it's ready to be launched this coming Monday. So the point we're at right now is we're fully ready to go, and we're looking to onboard displaced Ukrainian families. Now, unfortunately, we can only service people that are outside of the Ukraine at the moment because of the banking infrastructure. We're using PayPal. We plan to migrate to cryptocurrency very soon here. But because of that, we can only access people that are in countries like Poland, for example. So the reason I'm speaking to you today and my ask is that if you know people in any of these countries that displaced Ukrainians are in that could benefit from this, get them to go to our platform and create a campaign. We have quite a few donors lined up that are ready to shell out a good amount of money. So the people that are there first and tell compelling stories are going to receive a substantial amount of money. That's about it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. And how are you going to make sure that there isn't any nefarious activity with your cryptocurrency approach?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a system right now.
Are you going to be doing it in a transparent blockchain?
Absolutely, it will be in a transparent blockchain. And on top of that, we are utilizing some form of identity verification for everyone that applies to the platform to prevent fraud. And I think as one of the previous speakers said, they help do that as well. So we'll probably connect with them on that standpoint.
How would your donations connect to a Ukrainian bank account when someone's outside of Ukraine?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, that is the problem right now. The reason we picked PayPal is because it's one service that you don't have to have a bank account to receive the money. But to utilize the money, of course, that's a whole nother question. So we don't have all those answers yet. We can only do what we can with the current infrastructure. So PayPal seemed like the logical first step. As far as getting that money to go buy a loaf of bread, at this point, we can't, connect that dot entirely. That's a little bit on the refugee to figure out. Okay,
well, hopefully your project will figure it out very quickly. Thank you very much for coming in all the way from the United States. Appreciate that, your time. Thanks very much, everybody. Next one.